Hey guys, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. We're looking at forehand variations this week, and today we're going to look at backswing variations. Got 3 of them to look at. The first one that I don't really recommend a ton because it's a little too simple, a little too basic, but because I still see it around the club level, I wanted to touch on it. That would be just kind of a straight back racket take back, okay? Meaning that from the ready position, we're going to take the racket back pretty linear, all right? Almost like, you know, the idea when I'm coming back to the ball is generally to hit somewhere around waist level. The take back that we call straight back would be to go right at that point, okay? You know, pretty simple, pretty old school. I think a lot of us out there that are at least my age, you know, maybe had this racket take back for part of the time you were learning the game. I mean, it does keep life very simple. What I don't like about it is that generally because it is so abbreviated and you can get to this position so quickly, there tends to be a hitch when we're actually swinging back to the ball with that straight back take back. So, you know, I would say to anybody out there that is using that straight back, let's try to work into something a little more modern, which would be the second one that we're going to touch on right now, which is more of the loop or the C-shape backswing, okay? And that backswing is pretty much 99% of tour players and high-level players. And I think you guys have, if you've seen any of my forehand videos, you know what I'm talking about here. I always feel like a good loop or a good C-shape backswing, if I were to draw it with a line, really looks like this big C-shape from top down to bottom, back into contact. So it's a pretty simple way to lock into how to take that racket back, is just kind of draw the letter C from top to bottom. What I love about this take back is that the pause that occurs at the top of the C shape doesn't create that hitch that the straight back take back has. Okay, that pause up here ends up turning into a great amount of momentum. So we see a lot of, you know, spin, power, just the heaviness that the modern ball should have on the forehand side is generated from that C shape. Now, with everybody out there, there's obviously little nuances to this. So I like to really look at Del Potro and Ferrer. All right, and if you guys are familiar with those players, you know that, you know, Del Potro's pretty much my height. Ferrer's maybe 5'8", 5'9", and if you watch their backswings closely, the top of the racket for Ferrer, even though he's making that C shape, never gets above his head. Watch video of him really closely. It's a clear C-shaped backswing that stays relatively compact. Del Potro's the exact opposite. You know, he's trying to expand that forehand, so his racket in his C shape is extremely high. You know, to me, this takes really good timing. You know, if you're new to this take back or just don't feel ultra confident in it yet, I think somewhere in between those two extremes is probably the right way to go. The higher we get, the tougher it is to time. It's just obviously there's more to generate from that high position, so something to play around with, okay? The third backswing, and this is kind of new to me, it's a Jack Sock take back. It is Nick Kyrgios. You'll see it once in a while. The best way I can describe it is Wristy Western, all right? So those guys are in a Western forehand grip, and really kind of the thumbprint on this is that when those guys go back, the tip of the racket is below the hitting hand in this take back. All right, and what that generates, obviously Sock has a massive forehand, so does Kyrgios. It generates a ton of lag, but it just creates this huge, you know, momentum shift from behind to forward. So you see those guys hitting a ton of power, ton of spin. I find it interesting. I don't think I could hit that shot very well. Number one, the Western grip causes me some problems, and then just having that racket head sitting below my hand feels a little bit awkward. But I think it'll be interesting going forward to see if that's a trend that kind of gains some steam with other players, or if we just see it kind of sporadically with a handful of guys on tour. But definitely something to look at. And for some of you out there that aren't super locked into how you're taking the racket back yet, play around with it. See if it works for you, okay? So let's go ahead and look at a couple forehands here. The first, again, you know, I just wanted to touch on the straight back. I think you guys will see there's just such a long pause in this that as Mark feeds me the ball and I prep the racket, you know, there's not a lot of rhythm to this. It's back, I wait, and it's through, and it's so linear, I don't feel like I'm going to generate a lot of power, a lot of spin. It just feels kind of stiff to me. So let's work into the loop. Now, first one, I'll keep that loop relatively lower a la Ferrer. Little foreign to me here. Yeah, definitely feels loopy, but more compact. Not that I'm going to generate a ton of power with that, but probably a lot of control. And then we expand it a la Del Potro. Yeah, I mean, immediately as that loop starts to get up higher, I think you guys will feel the ability to start to generate a bigger swing, obviously, exploding on that ball more. So whatever you're out there looking for, control, power, play around with the height of the loop, right? And then the last one, I guess I'll give it one go here, Mark. Full Western grip. This is the Wristy, you know, Western backswing. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that's tough for me. I'm catching so little tennis ball. I just feel the ball sliding right off the racket. So to me that, you know, again, it's interesting because you're seeing some players on tour do that. You know, not that I maybe couldn't go out and practice that, but it just a little bit awkward for me. I don't like the feeling of the ball just basically sliding off the racket like that. All right, so that's the variations on the backswing. Straight back, C shape, also known as the loop, and then that variation with the Wristy Western. Three things, you know, again, just food for thought. Go out, give them a try, see which one fits you best, and kind of lock into that going forward with your forehand. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those very helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well, and we'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lessons.